beauty of today is what it holds different from what today offered us. And the beauty of this place is having a woman who's always available to teach us and to give us information, some that we didn't even know. Today we are so delighted and blessed to have Pastor Doren Makomo in our midst. And we would want to thank you for being here today with us again. Pastor Doren, thank you so much again for allowing us to come and learn.
My pleasure.
My colleague, we are back again.
It's amazing to be back. I think this has become home for us.
Definitely.
Already we are so much graced to be here today. And we thank Mama so much for allowing us to come.
Yes.
You know, I was looking at last week's session. What a marvel it was. The levels at which she was sharing the wisdom. It's so much to handle.
The octopus.
The octopus. You know, that one was something else. You know, I went on and to research, and I noticed that already she was detailed. She was articulate in her scenarios, and connecting that with wisdom.
Yes.
That's unheard of. It was so insightful.
And we cannot wait now to hear more about wellness. Pastor Doren, allow us today to be asking so much from you because we really want to understand. You made us understand the depths that are around wisdom, but you introduced us to wellness the first time you brought this season of wisdom and wellness. And we really would want to understand more about wellness today. And maybe taking you back to that first set when you introduced us to wellness. You did mention that wellness is the state of the mind. And we've had this general thought and perception that wellness has to do with the well-being of this body. But you gave us that definition that gave us a new understanding. And probably we now know and we now see that wellness covers so many facets of this human being. Could you probably maybe redefine wellness for us and make us understand more about wellness?
Thank you. From last time where we met here, I said wellness is the state of the mind, where the mind is supposed to remain focused, where one has to have a positive mindset. You know, when the mind is not relaxed, when the mind is loaded with the negative things, when the mind is loaded with the hate, with the disappointments, that one is an ill mind. So there's nothing that you can talk about when the mind is in such a state. But we can only talk about the wellness of the mind. That is when the mind is positive, when the mind is well focused, when the mind is relaxed. That is what we call wellness. You know, of late I was thinking wellness is all about the physical state of a human being. But according to my research and study of humans, I realized that wellness is not all about the physical state of a person, but it is the state of the mind that is at peace. When the mind is at peace, the mind is well. A human being is well. So it is very important as a human being to have a relaxed mind, a mind which is full of peace. You are supposed to deal with disappointments, with the hate feelings, with unforgiveness, with bitterness, so that you have a peaceful mind as a human being. When the moment you fail to have peace with your mind, it will affect the body. So that's when you will see most of the people will try to regain that wellness through activities, through some trainings, physical trainings, of which it's not the wellness that we are talking about. It is a failure to manage the mind.
Already you're speaking volumes. Getting to have peace, getting to a place where you feel relaxed, that state of mind where you have the peace yourself is a state of wellness. You know, we've always had wellness as, like what you reiterated, as a state of physical health.
Yeah.
But now, Pastor D, you are coming and you are demystifying the odds. You are bringing us to a new place where we are understanding that wellness is not just about the physical body, but already there is that aspect of the state of mind. We need to thank you so much for that. But probably getting on to from the state of mind, because now we are wondering, from the state of mind, what is it that is brewing up within the mind? What state of mind are we talking of here? Is it the negative? Is it a negative state of mind? Is it a positive state of mind? Because already we all have different states of the mind. But if you can take us through the different states of the mind, I think we would be grateful.
Oh, thank you, Tafara. You know, coming to the state of the mind, whether positive or negative, you know, there are some factors that affect us as human beings. Maybe the environment that we are living in, or the backgrounds that we are coming from, might be the contributing factors to the wellness of the mind, to the wellness of human beings. So there are things that we are supposed to deal with. There are things that we are supposed to work towards so that we can achieve that wellness we are talking about, and not the physical state, but the state of the mind. Remember, my mantra is enriching the spirit and empowering the mind. You know, when a mind is empowered, that mind is a well mind. It's in the state of wellness, you know. So there are several dimensions of wellness. We have the social wellness. We also have the intellectual wellness. We have the occupational wellness. And we also have the emotional wellness. We have the financial wellness, environmental wellness, just to mention those dimensions. So they go hand in hand, these dimensions. You know, I want to talk about the occupational wellness. You know, when we are looking for occupations in lives, we have to consider whether this occupation that I choose will give me satisfaction. Because failing to get that satisfaction from the occupation will contribute to the sickness of the mind. So you have to consider that when you get occupied, choose an occupation that will give you satisfaction, an occupation that will give you more opportunities. You have to choose an occupation that will meet your set goals. Remember, when we go to work, we don't just wake up in the morning, we go to work, we come back, we wait for our salaries at the end of the month. One thing that a normal person does, he plans how he's going to spend his monies. He set some goals that when I get this age, when I reach this stage, what have I managed? What have I achieved? So we don't just go to work to get some salaries, because most of these salaries that we get at the end of the month, some are not enough for us. So in such a scenario, there's not enough for us. There's no satisfaction in those in such salaries. So what we are looking for an occupation that will pave a way for advancement, for promotion, for more opportunities, for some goals to be met. So that's another dimension of wellness we are talking about.
Pastor D, allow us to interject there. Tafara, occupational wellness, it's the first time I get to hear of such a thing. I haven't heard of that before. And Pastor D, had we known this before, would you have understood why we left one job going for another? We have had opportunities to work in different places before, and we ended up even dropping some jobs because we felt the job was not good enough to meet what we were planning and what we needed to do. But back then we didn't understand that it was occupational wellness that we were looking for. Had we known, maybe we couldn't have moved from one place to another. Would have settled at a place that was suitable for us. Because the first thing we would do would be to look at the occupation. Is it going to meet the wellness of my mind? Is it going to keep me in a state of wellness? So this is profound to us. Amen, Tefara.
Already, this is deep. You know, Coach, getting to have an employee being employed by an employer. You know, I'm looking from that perspective of an employer. So that, you know what, had I known that what this employee needs was occupational wellness, already I wouldn't have realized this high labor turnover. Little did I know that it wasn't because of anything else but occupational wellness. Had I guarded myself, had I acquired the wellness, I wouldn't have lost the employees that I lost.
So many companies are struggling because workers are leaving every day. But this is the knowledge they need. They have to dig deep into this occupational wellness. What is it that my employees are looking for? If I can meet only those needs, then I'll satisfy them. Pastor D, we need more of this. We need more of this.
Yeah, very sure. You know, there's this financial wellness. You know, it needs one to have wisdom. It needs one to have an open mind. It needs one to be very accountable. It's not just a matter of getting paid. You just spend without planning. You know, finances need good management. You are supposed to come out with a budget for that particular month, what you want to target, what you're going to do. And you know, when I'm looking at financial wellness, there's this saying which says tatis mtandisi. First things first. You know, when you come out with a budget, you do your breakdown of the things that you want to spend your money on first. Things like rentals, things like your transport money, things like fees for the children, and you know, those things that you cannot do without. That things that demand money whether you have it or you don't. So those are the things that you have to channel your monies to first before you spend your money lackadaisically, you know. You know, there's this thing that most people do. They do impulse buying. You know, I was one person who used to do that when I was still new in marriage. No, my husband would give me this bank card, then he would tell me go and do some shopping. You know, I would just buy things, those luxurious things, not important things. Before looking at those rentals and those bills I was supposed to pay first. So, you know, after doing those luxurious groceries, then I would come back home. My husband would need the bus fare to go to work. I would need the money to pay the ZESA bills, the water bills, and looking into my bank account, nothing is left. Then it would give me some problems. So I had to learn from those mistakes. So I would want to share my experience on this platform, that we must do first things first. When you go for shopping, don't buy leisure things. Just buy your basics. Then when you have enough to spoil yourself, then you can go ahead as well. So that's the most secret thing, the most important thing with financial wellness. You must manage your resources, the resources that you have. You must channel them rightfully.
Management of resources and proper channeling, Tafara. Have you been doing that yourself?
I'm looking at myself.
Yes.
And already I'm putting myself into Pastor D's shoes. And I'm looking at the mistakes that I've made.
Yeah.
I'm one person who would never spend after I would have planned. I would just get money from whatever that I'm doing, and I spend it. Probably in retrospect that I'll get more money. But already she's teaching us, she's giving us the wisdom now, that if you are not to have this wellness, if you are not to manage your finances well, already we will begin to doubt whether you have wellness or you have illness.
You know, we have plundered so much money because of lack of this financial wellness. And Pastor D, I don't know, maybe it's because it's this environment that you are teaching us, that we get to go back and pick some information from what you've said before. You just told us of occupational wellness just now, and you have highlighted as well that there is this financial wellness. And on occupational wellness, you made it clear that your occupation can put you in a state of wellness if it's able to meet your needs, if it's able to allow you to do some of the things that you have planned for your life. And financial wellness now, being myself as an individual, not my occupation, being myself as an individual, after getting my earnings, what am I doing with what I've earned? That alone is making me to think of some individuals, or probably even myself at some point in time, that we have had those opportunities to get money. And because of failure to plan, because of failure to do the mtatis mtandis like you've mentioned, we ended up plundering our wealth. And the blame, we then put it on the job and the occupation that we had. The same job that I left could be the same job that someone else is crying for. Could be the same job that is going to change someone's life. But because I'm failing to manage my wellness in terms of my finances, I might end up putting the blame on my occupation.
That's true.
Pastor D, this information, if it goes out there and if there's someone out there who's listening, definitely they'll have to look at themselves and make a change, because we have made mistakes and we need to correct those errors.
There is need for self-introspection.
Definitely.
Because already this is sacred information. We can't be grateful enough. Already we are burning to get more answers.
So true, so true.
Okay, let's look at intellectual wellness. This is where the mind is supposed to be stimulated, to be activated. You know, there's this term called catalyst. When you go to science subject, that's where we talk about catalyst, where two chemicals react. This catalyst works as
it speeds up the reaction.
It speeds up the reaction, yes, of chemicals. So you see, there's some catalysts that we're looking at in intellectual wellness, which is knowledge, which is skills, which is education, and which is association. All this will stimulate the brains, will force the brains to think straight, will force the brains to be focused. So you really need to acquire this intellectual wellness, you see. You have to have some associations, good associations. Well, you know, the word of God says iron sharpens iron. We really need some irons that will sharpen us as well, so that we get well equipped. Yeah.
Already this is this is something else. You know, I got to understand this, Pastor D. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
But you said because of some associations, because of some books that we have read, because of some, can we say some novels that we have read, we have obtained the wellness. I'm one person who's an avid reader. I've read so many books, and I've read so many people, and I've associated with so many people. But I'm getting to understand now that had I been smart enough to pick and to tap from the right people, from like-minded minds, from like-minded people, I would have got this wellness. But probably because of my immaturity, I went on and associated myself with people that were of shallow depth. I went on and associated myself with books that were giving me illness. And already I have failed to obtain the wellness from those guys. But now you're bringing to the fore the aspect that because of certain books, because of certain people, I can be a custodian of wellness, and I can get to have that state of mind that is said to be pure. Pastor
And
G,
you
come
know,
on.
you can be a wide reader, you can get information, but you need a sharper iron who will tell you how to apply that which you have read, that which you have learned. Yeah, you might have the knowledge, but how to apply it.
How to apply it. Being pushed by certain individuals.
Yes.
Oh, come on, coach.
You know, Pastor D, what you are saying now, there's a saying we say, if you replace I with we, even illness becomes wellness.
Oh.
You know, Pastor D, ourselves being in this environment where we get to learn about wellness, it's already making us well up there. we enjoy this environment, we enjoy this information. Intellectuals, education, being catalysts to the thinking of my mind, to the brain activity. Pastor D, I don't know where you really draw all these lessons from, but to us, we are becoming changed individuals.
We are being transformed.
We are being transformed, and we are so grateful for this information.
You know what I'm thinking, coach? Already had we isolated ourselves, had we continued to be eyes, the I like that aspect.
Not the ways.
Not the we's. Had we continued to be the eyes in isolation, we wouldn't have obtained this wellness. But by reason of us becoming a we, becoming a congregation, we are partakers of this.
That isolation puts us in that environment of idleness. We get to miss a lot. We thank God. We thank God we have this time to learn. We cannot have much to say. We need you to say much.
Okay, yeah, let's move forward. We're coming to emotional wellness, where one is supposed to control the emotions, hurt emotions, anger emotions, that bitterness, that unforgiveness, those feelings, one is supposed to be able to control them. Have that ability to control those feelings, because they have a negative impact on your mindset. They have a negative impact even on your health as well. So when we talk about emotional wellness, we are talking about the ability to maintain peace, joy, and happiness. That's how we can be able to acquire this wellness of the mind. So you know what happens when you fail to forgive, when you fail to let go of the bitterness, when you fail to control your anger emotions. This will only repel people away from you, losing association, losing that interaction aspect with other people who might add value to your mindset, who might open your mind, the eyes of your mind, to have a positive mindset. So this will only contribute to the destruction of your health. When you continue to hold bitterness against other people, when you continue to unforgive, it will only come up with this distraction of your health, you might end up having stress. You might end up having depression. And when you have depression, you might have this disease called hypertension. Or you can become a diabetic person. Or you can have those heart attacks. You know, most of the people who have heart attacks, you know, they accumulate sometimes from that bitterness. It keeps on accumulating, and it will end up having you an attack from those diseases. So we need to deal with our emotions. Let's be able to control our emotions, and it will contribute to the wellness of the mind. So when you continue to do that, you end up isolating yourself. And the next thing, you will have this suicidal mindset. So it will only destroy you, and you will lose focus of everything in your life. Your life will be stagnant. You will not go anywhere. You will not achieve anything, because your focus would have been disrupted because of failure to control those emotions, those hate emotions, those hate feelings. Yeah.
So, Pastor, the bad emotions, you have highlighted that there is an accumulation of bitterness if it's not properly managed.
Oh, yes.
If hating emotions within us are not properly managed, they keep on accumulating. They become even dangerous and toxic to us. Traumatization, suicides and all that accumulates from failure to manage emotions. So, Pastor D, does it mean that if something bad happens to me emotionally and I stick to that, I hold on to that, it stays within me, am I going to miss something good coming my way because of what I am holding on to? Is it going to deny me opportunities that are going to come my way because of what I'm still holding on to? Because if it accumulates, if I was hurt by a person, the next person coming, the mind already and the mentality, the wellness already is disrupted. And the thinking is, if an individual could hurt me, then the next individual possibly would also hurt me. So if we are not emotionally well, does it really, is it pointing us to the fact that we can actually miss opportunities coming our way because of that emotional state?
Very true. You will miss most of the opportunities that will come your way. You will not see them because your mind will be harnessed, you know. It will be harnessed. You know, a harnessed mind does not think of anything else, does not see anything good. It is full of negative things. So you miss most of the opportunities in your life. So let's deal away with the disappointments.
Allow me, Pastor D, to add on to what Coach C said. Failure in the management of emotions. You know, we have always heard of the old adage which say men are dogs. And you find such a person uttering such a statement, and you begin to wonder now, is it that they are dogs, or is it that it was a problem in the management of emotions? And you get to lose opportunities, you get to lose the land of milk and honey just by reason of you failing to manage the past emotions. You know, we've lost a lot of people during this pandemic. We've lost our loved ones. But now we keep on crying. We keep on probably standing on those emotions. And the emission of those emotions from the past experiences. Like what you said, it's not that the emotions are supposed to be rubbed off. No, it is in the management of the emotion. Having the emotion to yourself, but then failing to manage it.
So I would want to encourage those who are watching us that you must be able to deal with emotional wellness. What are you supposed to do then? Have self-contentment, self-appraisal, that I can do all things through Christ. Have that humorous be able to laugh, be able to joke, be able to keep peace in your mind, be able to associate with others, be able to do self-introspection of yourself.
Getting to have self-worth.
Yes.
We thought wellness was all about the physical activities. But now, Pastor D, you have demystified everything that we were thinking of. It's more like you have took our minds, you have rubbed off everything. You are even editing from the software. I love it, Pastor D. I love how you are doing this.
Thank you, thank you.
Pastor D, we do long so much to have another time for you to then tell us the essence of wisdom and wellness together combined. But already the octopus wisdom and wellness having so many tentacles is still pointing us to the fact that even wellness is also an octopus.
Oh, yes.
Pastor D, you are so
Wisdom
grateful.
is the gigantic one.
Wow,
Yes.
wow. Pastor D, we thank you so much for today.
You're welcome, Coach.
We always want more, but sometimes we have to leave people meditating on what you have said. So for today, we thank you so much for the time you've availed to us.
Much pleasure.
From us, we are so grateful for everything that we have learned today. We do hope that you continuously learn there. Here we keep learning. That's why we bring our notebooks, and that's why we keep taking notes down. We do hope out there you're also doing the same thing. Today, we are grateful. Today, we are delighted. It's bye-bye time.